What the heck? Who turned on the lights? What's going on, everyone? Phil here. Welcome to the Level 1 podcast, everybody. I hope that you're all doing well. It's the beginning of the weekend, right? Well, I guess technically yesterday was the beginning of the weekend, but with the week that I've had, you know, it certainly didn't feel like the beginning of anything. It just felt very weird to finally be back after having been sick all week long. Today is Saturday, the 4th of November, 2023. I'm Darkside Phil, and I welcome you here to the show. I hope that you are all having a good week and or autumn, if you are celebrating the autumn in the Northern Hemisphere like I am. Today is exactly dead on representative of what we would have as an autumn day in the Pacific Northwest. It is cool. It is dark. We have a rainstorm outside that is coming down heavy and saturating everything. That's why the background today, which by the way, almost forgot. That's why the background today looks so blue, because when there's no sun outside, the background shows up really, really nicely here on camera for me. So that's why it looks so extra blue today. Okay? So it is very much an autumn day. And I am ready for gaming today all day long with all of you, hopefully. You know, so far so good. Yesterday was my day back after having been sick. And it worked well, I would say, even though I'm definitely, you know, not 100% like right now. Hold on. Ugh. Had to do that. Still congested. Still got, you know, issues with my sinuses and clogging and congestion in the nose and sinuses. Still got the drip. Still got phlegm in my throat from this cold. But for the most part, my mind is clear. And when my mind is clear, that means I can stream and game with you guys. It doesn't matter if I'm congested or whatever, big deal. I can get over that. The problem is when I can't think straight, my head is pounding with a headache or whatever. How am I supposed to be able to make content for you, right? So I'm happy that those days are past. No fever for several days now. In fact, again, second day, I am not on any meds. So that is good. And I'm here for a full day of stuff. Now, yesterday was the day back. So yesterday, the entirety of the podcast was about what happened when I was sick, you know, everything I went through, ordering and stuff like that. I do have some updates. I'd like to give you all an update because remember yesterday we had a big problem with Amazon deliveries. I was trying to get all this medicine delivered for my wife, who's very sick, because she caught what I had, and they weren't delivering, and I have an update on that. So I'll finish the story because I got to tell you the second half of the story that happened last night. But outside of that, rather than dwelling on being so sick, by the way, hear how heavy? That's rain outside. Hear it? Heavy is the rain. It's definitely full of mass and weight. It's like a big downpour out there right now, which is nice though. I like relaxing autumn rains. So, anyway, I don't want to sit here and bitch about stuff all day. Today we will talk a little bit of positivity about upcoming events. I have a big update regarding the Ad Apocalypse 2.0 as well as talking about game news. There's 2 big game news stories that happened in this last week that I was not able to cover for you guys because I've been so sick. So I'd like to cover those stories for you today in some capacity. We can talk about them and see what you guys think. But 2 big news stories to talk about, and then we jump back into our gaming schedule of all these new releases that I've been rotating around. Yes, indeed, that means more Alan Wake 2 today, which is great. I have no complaints about that whatsoever. Alan Wake 2 is an absolutely outstanding game. I'm really enjoying the playthrough. I can't wait because today we're going to play with Alan himself, while the last 2 streams, 5 hours of gameplay, were all Saga in a brand new area called Watery, a new town and a new dungeon and all of this. Now we go back to Alan to see what the heck's going on with him. If you remember, the last time we played with Alan was 1 week ago. Right here on Saturday was when I played with Alan, and we had that insane rock opera segment with him and everything. That was so cool. And I can't wait to jump back in and see what happens next. So it should be a good streaming day. You know, Mario finally returning tonight, which I can't wait for. Mario Wonder is the best 2D Mario game in decades. And I've absolutely loved it. And then got sick, and I haven't played the game in over a week and a half. If you can believe it, it's been a week and a half since I played Mario Wonder. What are you going to do? You know, you got to recover, and that's what I'm trying to do here, trying to recover and get back on track with everything, right? I also have some updates in regards of my watching the show Invincible and my coverage of it. So a lot of stuff to talk about today. All right? I guess the question is, where do we even start? Right? Like, where do we even begin to to talk? All right, how about this? Before we get into gaming, before we get into the schedule, before we get into news and all future stuff, let's wrap up the leftover stuff of the week. So first of all, how is Kat doing? My wife is sick. She did not get a good night's sleep last night at all. While I'm actually going the other direction, I'm getting better night's sleeps. Because I'm able to clearly breathe at night and you know, just rest and not get interrupted. She did not get a good night's sleep last night because she had insane amounts of head congestion. So no headache. So it's kind of a little different from me. When I had this, my problem was my headache. My head was throbbing with sinus pain, and I could not concentrate nor rest because of it. She doesn't have that, but she has insane cloggage. So she can't breathe at all. All right? And because she can't breathe, how do you sleep? So she was up and about and then trying to sleep and then get, you know, pass out for an hour and wake up again, can't breathe. You know, those are the worst nights because you just can't get consistent rest. And that's the night she had last night. So you might say, so is this because, you know, what happened with the medicine yesterday, the big story? If you weren't here yesterday, the big story was we had ordered a ton of flu medicine off of Amazon. Everything we had in the house was like either outdated or we were at the end of it and we were going to run out. And I knew that she needed more medicine. So on Thursday, I had placed a big ass order for like extra severe flu, Dayquil and NyQuil and all this off of Amazon. It was supposed to be delivered yesterday between 7 and 11 a.m. I paid extra for it to show up at 7 to 11 a.m. yesterday. You know, here I was on stream, and it said the order had been delayed with no update whatsoever, no information why it got delayed or if it's even showing up. So what happened, right? I streamed the entire stream yesterday of Alan Wake 2, and then nothing, no update. I'm like, this is insane. So I'll tell you the story of what happened, okay? So when I went to upload my Alan Wake 2 videos yesterday, before I went downstairs to make dinner for us, I said, let me jump into the Amazon help chat while I'm uploading so I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm already stuck at this PC for like half an hour to set up these videos. So while I'm doing that, let me also do the chat at the same time. So I did. I set up the chat, and I started talking with Amazon help about this order. And basically, just going to get rid of someone obnoxious. Basically, the way I saw it was, you know, I want this medicine. I don't care about money. Money is not the issue here. You know, yes, it was a big order for a bunch of this medicine that, you know, was expensive, but it's not the money. It's the matter of I need the medicine. My wife is sick. She needs to take it to get better. She's not going to be able to rest or sleep if she can't breathe and she can't alleviate her symptoms. I don't care what the solution is. I just need a solution, whether it's they ship a second shipment of medicine or whatever it is, right? So I get in the chat, And I explain all of this to the Amazon rep. The Amazon rep, whose name is definitely an Indian name, so you know that this is someone based in an Indian call center, all right, says that they want to help me, but the only thing they can do, listen to this, I can credit you $10 because your order's late, and you can wait till Sunday, and if the medicine's not there by Sunday, I will refund your order. I said, how does this solve the problem? I need medicine now. I don't care about the money. I need the medicine. So I want you to stop with your half-assed solutions and give me medicine. Okay? So that's what I said. And he goes, all right, well, let me see what I can do. Goes on hold for 10 minutes. Comes back. So I can't do anything. What I need to do, I need to put you on the phone with someone. I'm in support chat with you now. Are you not Amazon support? Oh, I'm Amazon support. But Amazon support can only help you to one extent. If I put you on the phone with a phone agent has more support options than I do. What? That's literally what they just told me. I can't just what's the point of the chat? If the chat can't help you and you needed to be on the phone, then just have phone support. There's no reason to have chat support if the chat doesn't have the capabilities to help the customer. So I'm like, listen, I was like, whatever you need, I'll do. Fine, okay? They call me on my phone. I answer, and Amazon says, thanks for contacting Amazon support. Please hold. They put me on hold for 4 minutes, and then the phone hung up. I was a little upset. So I went back to Amazon chat again this time, and I said, at this point, I'm not picking up the phone. I'm not wasting my time. I want my medicine right now. I don't care what your answer is. I want it right now. So they put me on hold again for 15 minutes. After coming back from hold for 15 minutes, they said, your medicine's coming today. And I said, what? They said, yeah, your order's been updated. What? So I go and check the order. Oh, miraculously, while I was in the chat complaining with them, the order has been updated. Oh, it arrived in my local town and it's out for delivery. Funny how that works. How literally it sat there, untouched, unupdated, until I complained. And when I complained, all of a sudden now, someone put a rocket in their ass, as I said on the podcast yesterday, and now all of a sudden, my order's on its way. Now, the funny part about that was, did it show up right away? No, it did not. It showed up, get this, 9:30 last night. All right? So I paid for overnight delivery, and it was supposed to be delivered from 7 to 11 a.m., knowing that my wife was not going to have enough medicine to get her through the day. So for the second half of the day, she didn't have any medicine. She just sat around feeling miserable because they didn't deliver the medicine like they were supposed to, which I paid them to. Okay? It got delivered 9:30 p.m., and immediately she took some to alleviate her symptoms, okay? So, good news is, we got it. The bad news is, my wife had to suffer because Amazon is inept at what they do and don't give two fucks. Chat service that can't help you. Then they put you on a phone that hangs up on you to get you off the line so they don't have to help you. Because, by the way, let's be very clear here. This is exactly how customer support works with these big corporations. I want you to understand, if you ever call any of these call centers, or you call any of these automated lines and the phone hangs up, that was not a mistake. The way they work, their metrics, all right, are based on turnaround time. Now, do you understand what that means? Turnaround time is the amount of time between when the complaint comes in and that person is considered off of the line or off of the chat or off of the phone and done with. That's turnaround time. It's not satisfaction rating. How happy was the customer with the resolution? Did the resolution fit the customer's need? Is that customer happy and will they come back for more? No, they're not judged on that. They are judged on turnaround time. So as long as you're off the line, they're happy. And ultimately their goal is to get you off the line so you won't come back. You understand? I know that sounds fucked up, but when you're a ginormous megala corporation like Amazon or Google or Walmart or, you know what I mean? Any of these giant companies, they don't give two fucks about customer retention because they're so big, it literally doesn't affect them. Get it? they know that they have such a recurring customer base of people who are going to be coming back regardless. They can lose overnight 20% of their customer base, and it's like a fart in the wind to them. So it's just negligible shit. So when you're on these lines and you're holding, you're like, I wonder why I'm holding for so long. And all of a sudden the phone disconnects. I got to start over. Yeah, and they did that on purpose. They don't want you to call back. They don't want to waste time on you. That's why there's automated systems instead of people on the lines to help you, because they just want you to go in a menu endlessly till you give up and you hang up. That's what they want. They don't care about getting you help. They care about getting you off the fucking phone. So it's pretty messed up, but that's exactly how these centers work. Trust me, because I know. I hate to say, I know. I've been a part of it. I know people who've worked for these things, and that's exactly how they're all judged. Now, is it possible that a customer service rep could get kudos if they do a really good job and they get a good rating? Yes. If they go above and beyond and they actually get your concern taken care of, and you do that survey, sometimes they'll say, hey, so there's a survey at the end of this call. If you can answer this positively, I'll help you out. It'll help me out. If you do that survey and you rate it well, that person will get like a pat on the back, thumbs up, right? So FYI, if you ever do get a really good customer service rep who helps you out, absolutely you should do those surveys. Those people are just like you and me. You got to understand something. Those people don't choose to not have the ability to help you. They want to. They're just like you and me. They want to help the people on the other end of the line, but 9 times out of 10, the companies they work for don't give them the means or the resources to help. It's not their fault that they have no way to help you. Don't you think that those chat representatives yesterday, if they immediately could have given me a replacement for the product and chatted at my house in 5 minutes, that they would have done that? What do they care? They don't lose money. It's Amazon. Amazon has infinite money. Why the fuck would they care if Amazon gives me my medicine, right? They want me to have my medicine. They're nice. I'm sure these are nice people who work there. But these are the people who work there and they don't have the means to help anyone, and then they're the ones who get yelled at by people or get rated down in those surveys. Oh, they didn't help me. Don't do that, If there's ever an opportunity and say your system's broken, then absolutely rate them like that. But never say the rep is messed up, because these reps are, I feel so bad, again, having been in positions like that and knowing people who've been in positions like that, they don't deserve to be treated badly or rated low because the company they work for is a shitty company, okay? So don't do that, all right? Anyway, so it is what it is. The medicine did show up late, but we got it. My wife took it, and it didn't really help, By the time she got it, she tried to sleep last night and didn't get much sleep, and she's not feeling too good right now. Like, let me put it this way. She had aches and pains and things the last couple days. Those are gone. But now she just can't breathe. And if she can't breathe, she can't rest. So she's got medicine with decongestant in it, and she's trying to take it and see if it'll work. And, it's undetermined if it's going to work or not. This is like her day 4. So it's like my equivalent of when I was on Wednesday, and I didn't even do my update video till the end of Wednesday. That's when I did my health update video. Remember that? So give it another day or two, hopefully she'll start to feel normal, because it was really Thursday when I started to feel normal again. So hopefully by tomorrow she'll start feeling normal again. But already with how she feels in these lingering symptoms, we know there's no discussion that she's going to stay home and relax all week, and she needs to. This is such a debilitating illness that you just got to recuperate as much as you can. So, all right, hold on, because I got to blow my nose. Still wearing my Zelda pants, although we did get some laundry done yesterday, so at some point I'll change my pants to normal pants rather than my Zelda pajama pants today. Okay, sorry about that, and, you know, I am still sick. Every once in a while I'm going to have to take a nose break, and there's nothing you can do about that. I got to clear out my sinuses, okay? Alright, so, that's enough of me bitching about the sickness and, and Amazon and my wife and all of that going on. Let's get to what you guys want to talk about, right? Let's get to talk about games and the schedule and everything going on, shall we? So, where are we right now in the midst of everything? Let me get you caught up, all right? I'm doing 3 game playthroughs right now. Now, not to say that there's not other ones going on. I mean, I'm playing Starfield, and that's indefinitely on hold. We're doing Street Fighter 6 online, and we haven't done that in weeks. That's on hold. We got a Street Fighter 6 World Tour. We're at the end of that, and that's on hold. And hell, I was playing Elden Ring earlier this year, and that's been on hold for several months, and I don't know if and when we're ever getting back to that, right? So there's definitely projects on hold that we may or may not get back to, but for what we're actively doing right now, we've got 3 games, okay? Alan Wake 2, excuse me, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and Spider-Man 2. So where are we in each of the playthroughs, right? With Mario, we are currently 10 hours in. And 10 hours into Mario Wonder, we're in the midst of World 4, which is the desert world. Last time we played, which was over a week ago, we had done a lot of the invisible and hidden levels. We had started doing the more regular levels, and I think we had maybe a handful more to do before kind of the end of that stage. And then we were going to move on to World 5 and 6, and then the conclusion of the game. With 10 hours in, I'd say we were probably around halfway through, maybe a little longer than halfway through, but it's hard to tell, especially when these games have secret worlds and things, and you don't know how long they take or how many of them there are. But I love Super Mario Wonder. It's just sad that this is the game that, I hate to say, was not getting as much attention from the viewing audience. Even though it's an outstanding Mario game, for some reason my audience is just not really in love with Mario games. I've noticed this over the years. It doesn't matter what Mario game it is. But, you know, even an outstanding one like Super Mario Odyssey, which I thought was Game of the Year 2017, you know, after playing it halfway through, people kind of lost interest and didn't really care. Which was sad because I thought it was one of the best and most innovative Mario games I've ever played. So, I love it. I can't wait to play more of it, which we will do soon tonight, actually. Spider-Man 2, we are currently 16 hours into, alright? If you take a look at the story, supposedly we're about halfway through the story now, which is obviously good progress, but the thing is, I think, like, side content-wise, we've done quite a lot. Like, every side content mission that pops up, we've completed. We keep doing all the open world stuff. We've done the Sandman missions, the Prowler missions, the research experiments, the Mysterio missions. We're doing all the spider bots that we come up against. We haven't finished them all, but we're doing every one that we find. Essentially, that's what we're doing. We're doing all the side content as it pops up in the map. So it's slow progress, but it's always great progress every single time that I play the game. And the reason that I feel the game is really good this time around is because you got 2 characters you're switching between, different movesets, different outfits. There's always something to do because you're 2 characters swapping between 2 lives and 2 plots. That's really good. In the first game, it was good, but about halfway through, we got burnt out because it was just Peter, and you get kind of tired of doing the same stuff with regular Spider-Man, right? So to have 2 Spider-Men that you swap between, it definitely made it feel a lot better. Excuse me. So 16 hours in to Spider-Man 2. And then Alan Wake 2, we're 14 hours into, but it is today's major stream, and likely we're going to make major progress in the game today, as today we are going to swap back, again, another character, a game with 2 characters, right? So we're going to swap back to Alan today, after having played with Saga Thursday, Friday, which was 5 hours of gameplay, and we did a ginormous chunk of her story. Now we're going to go back to Alan today and see what he's up to, for the next 3 hours or so today. So, I hope that you guys will join me. Who do we got trolls here or something? Stupid idiots in the chat? Just let me know, okay? Yeah, look. Let me get rid of these idiots. Okay. So there you go. So in regards to Alan Wake, I'm looking forward to today. I'll be honest with you guys. I like the Saga gameplay, but I actually think I've liked the Alan Wake stuff more. And I'm more interested to jump back to that today, pivot back to the Alan Wake stuff and see how that goes. All right. I hope you guys will hang out and I hope you guys will interact, because yesterday as I was playing Alan Wake, I was having a great time, but the chat was quite quiet and they weren't talking that much, and they certainly weren't talking to me. They weren't like tagging me in chat. So I was like, I don't really know how to react when no one's really talking to me. I'll just keep playing the game then and focus on it and everything. But I want to make sure that everyone is having a good time, and it's hard to tell sometimes when the chat is so quiet. No reason for everyone to be so tight-lipped, okay? So, we'll see how it goes, and hopefully today you guys will enjoy. All right, so let's now talk about the schedule for the next week, so you guys know what's going on. All right, so today, Alan Wake 2 on the first stream, and Super Mario Brothers Wonder on the late stream, which is 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. Now, we have an important thing to talk about. Hold on one second. Dude, my sinuses are fucked up today. Hold on. I blew so hard, and finally it cleared out. Seriously, it went zoonk, a big chunk. That was absolutely disgusting, but it worked. So I guess it was worth it. Anyway, so, here's a big update you all need to know about. All right? Daylight saving time ends overnight between tonight and tomorrow in the United States. What does that mean? It means that our clocks are changing. Tonight, at 1 a.m. Sunday morning, it goes to 1 to 2 a.m., and when the clocks hit 2 a.m. for us, our clocks go back an hour to 1 a.m. again. We have a second 1 a.m. this morning coming up. I know that sounds stupid, because it is, because no one in the world should be changing their clocks, just dunce-level stuff, but we still do it. It's some archaic practice, and here's the thing. Our government has been trying to outlaw it for years, but our government is lazy as fuck and tends to waste time on a bunch of stuff that's either meaningless, pointless, or they never determine a real resolution to help anyone. They just stand around and argue like 5-year-olds in circles and never actually help. So, an easy win for them, for our government, would say, let's just abolish this clock-changing fiasco. No one benefits from it. It wastes everybody's time. Let's just get rid of it. But our government continues to not be effective and do nothing at all that's easy help for the people. So, for some reason, it just sits there untouched as a thing to do, and they never do it. So, because of that, our clocks are changing. So, what does that mean? It means that tomorrow, my streams will all be an hour later. All right, I'm going to repeat that. Starting on Sunday, November 5th, all of my streams will begin 1 hour later than usual. For me, it'll be the same time, but for the rest of the world, it's actually an hour later. Okay? So, and that's going to go from November all the way through March, and then in March, they start daylight saving time again, and then the clocks change again, and then all the streams will end up starting earlier again. You see? So, there you go. And that's tomorrow. So, good news, if you live in the United States, you'll basically get an extra hour of sleep, an extra hour of rest, or to do whatever you want overnight. Enjoy. Okay? And I hope that everyone does get something good out of it, positive out of it. For me, yeah, I'll enjoy having an extra hour of sleep. I'm sure my wife will hopefully enjoy getting an extra hour of sleep. She needs it. And hopefully she'll be able to breathe and actually enjoy it rather than being suffering. But it's just stupid. Because undoubtedly, tomorrow, people will be late. And there's nothing you can do about it. Or people will be early, I should say. People will show up an hour early and be like, I don't understand. Why is Phil not here? He's late. And why is the stream all screwed up? And it's not. It's not that I'm an hour late. It's that our clocks change. So everything will be an hour late moving forward. So there you go. Okay? All right. So, Tomorrow, everything starts an hour later. Tomorrow we'll do the podcast. Tomorrow it's React Day. Yes, the React show still exists, if you can believe it. I know it's been on hiatus for a week. Because of my illness, we missed out on an entire weekly episode. But it continues tomorrow. It's going to be weird because it's going to be the final horror-themed Halloween episode, even though it's a week late. It's going to be not timely, but we're still doing it because I'm not going to cheat people out of all their submissions and everything that they had done for this final episode of the month last month, okay? So, podcast here in the morning, then we're all going to go over to my React channel, DSP Reacts, and we're going to do the React show. Then we're going to come back here on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, for more Spider-Man 2. Okay? Monday, it's going to be more Alan Wake 2 paired with more Mario. Tuesday, more Alan Wake 2 paired with Spider-Man 2. Wednesday will be my final consecutive streaming day of the week, and we're going to leave it open. Because here's the thing. I feel if we play Alan Wake all week, we might actually get near the end and maybe even beat it by Wednesday. In which case, great. Then we got a major game down. Because guess what? This coming Friday, 2 new games. Like a Dragon Gaiden and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Obviously, I want to play the new games. But does it make sense to be starting multiple new games again when I have 3 others I'm playing? Not really. So it kind of makes sense to focus in on Alan Wake as the mainstream all week. Try to get it wrapped up by the end of the week. So then next week we have other games coming up and we don't have 5 games I'm juggling. You see? So let's see how it goes. All right? I don't want to promise the world to you guys, but it is possible that if we're playing it today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's 12 more hours into a game that we're already, 14 hours into. Maybe we'll have beaten it or get very close to the end of it by the end of the week, right? So let's see. But that's the plan. Now, I don't want to promise you guys what we're doing next week. I tell you this. Like a Dragon Gaiden, it's on Game Pass. I love the Like a Dragon / Yakuza games. I want to play this new one. And I will. But I'm not going to jump the gun and start it until it makes sense in the schedule. So let's see how we are doing in these games that I'm playing to make the judgment call of when to actually begin with it. I don't want to promise you, we're starting it Friday when we're in the midst of these other games that we're near the end. Why would I want to start a new game? Maybe I should hold off until we wrap up one of these games before we begin. As for Modern Warfare 3, all right? So here's the deal. The reviews say the campaign is atrociously bad, literally the worst Call of Duty campaign they have ever made. That it was hacked together. There's no content to it. It feels like it's a multiplayer map. It's trash. Okay? Good. Because I don't want to play it anyway. I already told you guys that. I didn't think that Modern Warfare 3's campaign made any sense. I didn't think it was going to be worth playing. What I told you guys I thought we would like is this multiplayer. I played the beta a few weeks ago, and everyone loved it. Why? Because it was classic Modern Warfare 2 maps from, back in the day when I was starting out as an early YouTuber, right? The I Spawn, I Die days, right? Dual shotties and shit. And I haven't played a first-person shooter in so long. I think it was just fun to see me jump into it and do something different for variety purposes. Keep in mind, the game is not just standard multiplayer, but also Warzone Battle Royale, which I did try out last year, and I enjoyed for a while. We didn't play it for an incredibly lengthy amount of time. I think that the original Warzone was better than what they came up with after they patched it. When they patched it, they ruined it, and it played way worse. But, the way I see it, all right, if I get this game, right, this will give me good variety for the streams. Some different kind of multiplayer to do to break stuff up. So if I'm going to do multiplayer, it's not just Street Fighter, right? And honestly, after having played the beta, like I said, I was really craving the multiplayer more anyway. Like, I want to play the multiplayer of this game. I think it's going to be fun streams, nice nights of 2 hours of action-based combat, having fun with kill streaks and silliness. And, how many times did I get the Juggernaut during the beta? It was pretty fun, right? So, do I really think it's worth $70? Fuck no. But I do think it's going to create the kind of variety that we're all going to want on the streams. So, yeah, this coming week, when these games come out, I want to start them. you know, but when exactly? I don't know yet. Let's play it by ear. Let's see how I do with the existing games that we're doing this week, right? And go from there. But I'm thinking probably Like a Dragon Gaiden, we want to hold off till we finish one of these existing games. Likely, which would be Alan Wake first, then start Like a Dragon, finish up Spider-Man next, maybe, right? And then here's the thing. Once we get deeper into November, you've got the Super Mario RPG remake, which I know people want. And then after that, we have all these options. We've got The Lords of the Fallen. We've got RoboCop 2. We can bring Starfield back into the mix. We can bring Street Fighter 6 back into the mix in some capacity. We can do all these different things, okay? So, let's see how it goes, all right? Now, I have one other major thing to talk about schedule-wise. Ladies and gentlemen, it is official that this year, on Black Friday, and if you're wondering, when is Black Friday? It is Friday, November 24th. So that is almost 3 weeks, a little under 3 weeks away from today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is truly my next marathon, the day after American Thanksgiving. The seas will boil. The skies will rain blood. Pestilence will cover the land. Locusts, swarms of locusts will eat the crops. Sickness and pain will ravage the people of Earth. Viruses, computer viruses, will ravage everyone's electronics. You won't have any money in your bank accounts. They'll be emptied out and money stolen. Your identity destroyed irrevocably. Your credit report crushed. That's right. You might say, well, what is going on? What are you talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, is it the end of days? Is it the end of the world? Is it the second coming of the son of Satan? No, it is Adpocalypse 2.0. Oh, that is right. Ladies and gentlemen, the Adpocalypse returneth this 24th of November. On Black Friday, we will be watching advertisements all day long in a marathon setting. I'll be reacting to them, and it's going to be fun. Last year we did this all day long. It was super fun. What we will do is pretty much similar to what we did last year. We'll probably order food and have a nice meal during the course of the day. Perhaps we'll do some alcohol and shots and stuff during the marathon as well, because we didn't get to do it during the Halloween event. And it's going to be fun. And the cool thing about this is you guys will be nominating all of the ads. Now, how is this going to work? So I'm going to set up 2 different threads here on the channel. There's going to be one thread that's going to be public for everyone, and there's going to be another thread that's members only. Here's how it will work. You will be able to nominate advertisements from the yesteryear from here on YouTube. The ads must be on YouTube to be watched, because if they're otherwise, there's too many chances that, sadly, you could have issues of watching them back and getting, claimed and legal shit. The ads have to be old, meaning probably the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. That's it. They can't be 2010s, 2020s. Anything too recent, there's too much liability and potential that some company would try to copyright, take down, the video and or the stream, okay? But it could be a product, on TV. It could be a children's toy. It could be food, fast food. It could be Christmas ads, stuff like that. It could be other holiday-themed ads, which is perfectly fine. It could be a PSA or public service announcement. Those are also considered ads. So any of that stuff would be eligible for the Adpocalypse 2.0 on Black Friday, all right? Traditionally, Black Friday is the day, once a year, where all of us unplug our consciences and we go online and we just spend all of our money selfishly on ourselves. So it makes sense that this is the day that I return to form and we watch ads and react. Now, what's funny about this is last year, people told me this would not be a successful event. They said, Phil, there's no way that an Adpocalypse event will work. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be boring. You're going to run out of stuff to watch within 5 minutes. You're not going to have a good time. This ended up being my most well-received marathon of 2022. People liked it more than any other event I did. People were demanding that I do it again right away. And I was like, no, we're not going to do a Christmas Adpocalypse or anything. let's hold off. And then we got very busy this year, and people kind of forgot, but now it's back. Okay? So I'm very excited. Now, if you say, oh, well, when can I start nominating? Soon. I'm behind on everything. Like, no exaggeration, I haven't even set up all my normal stuff that I do every month. Like, just this morning, I started sending messages out to my patrons on patreon.com and doing stuff like that. I'm so behind, all right? So, I swear to you, within the next day or two, I will have the threads up where you guys will be able to start nominating ads for the Adpocalypse event on Black Friday. So, you'll have a good 2 to 2.5 weeks to nominate these ads. Now, you might say, why is there a members thread and why is there a standard thread? Members will have priority. Members who post up advertisements to watch will be watched first. So we'll go through all the member nomination stuff first, and then we'll go over to the standard thread once the member stuff is exhausted. Okay? So there you go. So if you're a member, you're in luck. If you're not a member, what are you waiting for? If you're going to gift memberships to the channel, now would be the time. Give that priority to some people who are regulars here and watching and want to get some benefits. Now would be a cool time to do that. All right? So, there you go. I'm very excited for the Adpocalypse. It's going to be a great event. And then after that, of course, we will get right into the big-time Christmas stuff, right? Which I know you guys are excited for Christmas. I am, too. I love Christmas. It's my favorite holiday of the year. We got a good end of the year this year. We're going to have a lot of games to play. There's even holiday-themed games to play this year, if you can believe it. Like, there's a Grinch game that came out and stuff that we could do. It's good stuff coming up. Anyway, so, Adpocalypse 2.0, right around the corner. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. We'll start talking about it more daily now and get that hype train going for it. Again, Black Friday, November 24th, 2023. Very nice. Okay. And by the way, this may still happen someday. Probably not. Anyway, so, that's what I've got for schedule and all of that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for my favorite segment. Wait a minute. My favorite segment? Then it means it's also time for your favorite segment. Oh, could it be? Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the glorious return of DSP News to the Level 1 podcast. Because finally today, I can talk about news. Excuse me. So, what's in the news right now? Well, there have been two big burning stories that have been happening all over the place that I'd like to talk about, all right? Now, for those of you following game news, these are going to be outdated. These are stories from, like, over the last week that I'm sure you've already heard of. But I'm sorry, I haven't been here, and I've been wanting to talk about these stories, so let's do it. Story number one concerns this little guy right here. Yes, or I guess you could say this little guy right here, because they're the same controller, right? Kind of. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about Microsoft. And I'm talking about Microsoft accessories. Why am I talking about Microsoft accessories? Because it was made official. Listen to this. Microsoft is changing their policy on third-party accessories. They are now making it impossible to use unlicensed third-party accessories on their consoles. Huh? Yes, it is now official that if you have a junky third-party controller that never got Microsoft's approval to be used on the console, it won't work anymore. If you have an adapter that allows you to plug in a different kind of controller or something like that, okay? It doesn't work. And so what do I mean by this? Most peripherals you buy for a console that are of quality have gotten a seal of approval. All right? For example, I'm almost positive that my Hori neck phones were actually officially approved by Microsoft. Okay? Like, they went out and they obtained the Microsoft license to use on the console. I think I might still have the box. Hold on. Yes. So basically what I'm doing, I'm looking at my boxes for the accessories that I've saved. So if you have a headset, if you have a joystick, if you have a third-party gamepad, right? Maybe just a microphone, all these accessories, and if they're officially licensed for Xbox, you're good. But there's infamously companies out there that make very generic accessories, okay? And these accessories don't seek out the Microsoft licensing. They don't pay Microsoft a fee for that license. They just say, oh, just compatible with Xbox, okay? Well, Microsoft is going to make it that doesn't work anymore, okay? So some people already are freaking out. For example, fighting game players. Why? Because there is a series of adapters called Brook adapters, and these are supposed to be some of the best adapters in the business to convert people's different kinds of controllers, joysticks from all different consoles and compatibilities to work on Xbox console. Those don't work anymore. Overnight, they were turned off, and they don't work with the console anymore. Tons of people have like generic cheap controllers they've been using on Xbox for ages. They don't work anymore. Overnight, off. All right. So what about my Hori joystick over there? That's been licensed. They paid for the license. It works. What about the headset? That'll work. But if you've got a more cheap end, third-party generic company style controller, it won't work anymore. All right. So people are freaking out. They're like, why on earth are they doing this? It doesn't seem to make sense because you're in a situation where people are so used to using all that stuff on Xbox. It's worked since the era of the 360. Yes, it was around that era of the Xbox 360 that all of these generic things worked with Microsoft consoles and always just did. And this is almost like a night and day change. Like, why did they all of a sudden just come to this weird determination that they wanted to change their policy? And it wasn't even like there was a warning. It was like, it's just happening now. Bye. And no, and what? So now my joystick is bricked. Now my converter doesn't work. Now this doesn't work. And I can see if you didn't go out of your way to spend extra money and buy the more expensive accessories, why you'd be upset. What if you are a competitive fighting game player and you've been playing on an Xbox console and all of a sudden overnight you can't use your console anymore? Go buy an official joystick or get fucked, right? So you might wonder, well, why would they do this? It's very simple. Money. Because now all these companies will have to seek out the official Microsoft license, because if they don't have it, their shit won't work. So either go out of business, right, as a accessory manufacturer, or pay for the license. So I can get it. I get why it's happening. I just feel like my personal take on it is there's nothing wrong with this. You know, in a lot of cases, a lot of these knockoff companies and things, they're not doing their due diligence to make sure that their peripherals are safe, to make sure that their peripherals are not going to damage the console. A lot of these peripherals are shit anyway. They're a crappy controller. It's a $20 controller and it breaks within a week. You ripped off your customer. It's a piece of shit. But at the same time, if they were going to do this change, don't you think that maybe they should have like announced it way ahead of time, like to let everyone know? So guys, just so you know, by the end of the year, we're going to do this change. We want everyone to have a time to transition, so that if you need to go buy another joystick or you need to go buy another thing that's officially licensed, like one that I definitely think is going to be a big issue is headphones. Because these headphones, you know, a lot of these companies, I don't think they go for the licensing for a console. They say, oh, it's universal. It'll just work with whatever. Now, any headphones that works with this cord, a standard headphone cord, is going to work anyway. But any headphone that needs to plug in via USB, that's when you're going to have the problem with the licensing, because you're going to have that software issue. And I could definitely see a bunch of people who have USB headphones, and now overnight they just don't work anymore. So, oh, oops, guess you got no sound, right? So I hope you like playing silent games on your Xbox. I think Microsoft should have given more of a heads up. I think this is kind of a messed up situation where they rushed out this decision without proper due diligence. And you know what it is? Is probably a lot of their efforts and focus and work this year have been so hyper-focused on that Activision Blizzard merger deal that they lost sight of a lot of other shit that was going on. And so their focus, which should have been firmly on things like this, they lost focus and didn't realize, oops, you know, this is kind of bad for our customers. We didn't really do it enough to warn them. You know what I mean? So, you may not even be aware. What if you haven't played on your Xbox console this week? You may not even be aware this change happened, but it's happening. People are already reporting all over the internet. All their peripherals are stopping to work, and it really is affecting the fighting game community really badly. Right now, especially tournament organizers are going crazy. Like, what do I do? I had a whole tournament planned around Xbox, and now the Xboxes aren't going to work. So, FYI, heads up here, that this is happening. It's shitty, because it should not go down like this, but this is how Microsoft has chosen to do it, okay? Will there be a development? I don't know. Maybe Microsoft will go back, or I don't know, but it seems to me like they flipped the switch. I don't think they're going to unflip it, you know? They want their licensing money, and they're pretty pissed about it, I guess. Okay? All right, 1 second, because I got to blow my nose again, and then we've got the next story. Okay, time for our next story. Sorry for that. Our next story concerns a little company you may have heard of before called Bungie. You ever heard of Bungie? Bungie was hot shit back in the day, known as the company that made the game called Marathon, but then a breakout hit called Halo. And Halo really put first-person shooters on the map for consoles. Until Halo, most people did not take first-person shooters seriously on a console. They thought first-person shooters are meant just for PC. Yes, they could get ported to console, but they're not. The console controller isn't good enough for it. The consoles can't really handle the speed of a first-person shooter, and therefore they should stay on PC. Halo changed that, although admittedly, I almost feel like the whole Halo movement was a more mainstream movement. And if you don't understand what I mean by that, like, I feel like gaming was very hardcore for a fan base that was established and knew what they wanted. And then when Halo came about, it made first-person shooters cool to play on consoles and therefore became more mainstream. And with Halo, after that push, then you got games like Call of Duty, right? And then it just went further in that direction, you see? Now, I'm not here to crap on Bungie as a game developer, especially their early stuff. You know, everyone would argue that the early Halos were masterpieces. To this day, I'll tell you, Halo 3 was an amazing game. I played the hell out of it. I absolutely loved it, despite the fact that graphically it looked like dog shit. But it played really well, and they had a lot of good production value and things in it, and it was a great game for its time, okay? There's been many other games that have come out from Bungie of Halo until they sold off the franchise that were pretty decent, okay? But what happened is Bungie sold off the franchise. They decided they wanted to become their own company. They didn't want to just be making this stuff for Microsoft. So they sold Halo off to Microsoft. They said, you do it. And then that's now 343 Industries, completely different dev team. And they went off to make their own game franchise called Destiny. Now, if you would like a really good history on how Destiny was made, there is a documentary, or I should say a book that was written that's all about behind-the-scenes stories of the gaming industry and how certain games came to be and were made. It's made by Jason Schreiber, I believe is his name, who I think now he's a Forbes writer, but this was his own independent book that he did. And I actually had heard the audiobook version. And the chapter about Destiny was fascinating, and here's why. Bungie goes off to become their own independent company, right? We want to do our own thing now. We don't want to just do Halo anymore. So they start making a new game. And this game is going to be revolutionary. It's going to be space opera, Star Wars, but combined with more futuristic stuff than Star Wars. Because it won't have lightsaber duels. Instead, it'll have tons of guns and aliens and all kinds of lore and things like that. But the more and more that Bungie started developing their new game, which they called Destiny, they kept realizing they kept making Halo. Like, basically what happened was halfway through development of Destiny, they realized all we really know how to do is make Halo. And as much as they wanted to diversify it and make it not Halo, it's definitely Halo. They admit it in the fucking documentary. The heads of the studio admit we made Halo a second time, and that's what Destiny is with variations. They say this in the documentary, all right, during interviews. So, this is not a criticism of the game. This is what the actual heads of Bungie said in interviews about the development of the game, okay? When Destiny came out, all right, it played like Halo, but it had mechanics like Borderlands, because it literally, that's what Destiny is. It's Borderlands plus Halo, okay? It's not revolutionary. It's not groundbreaking. It's not game-changing. It didn't change the game's industry. It didn't change anything. What it did is it showed the power of marketing hype, because it had such an insane marketing budget that when Destiny came out, everyone was told all those things. It's game-changing. It's revolutionary. It's so different. It's literally none of those things and never has been. Okay? Where does Destiny excel? At being a co-op shooter game with your friends. Right? That's exactly what it is. If you have a group of friends who really like this style of social interaction in gaming, you jump into the game with them, you play it, you play through the campaign, you play through the raids, you play through the events, you get the loot, and you wash, rinse, and repeat. There is nothing unique about the formula of Destiny at all. Not a single part of that game is unique. Everything is taken from another game. All right? But you can argue that it did pick up popularity and it became a cultural phenomenon for a while. I'll say that the era of Destiny 1 into early Destiny 2, that the game had a big place in gaming. All right? But what happened was, around the time Destiny 2 came out, people had kind of realized that this game was kind of the same thing, and people started being very critical of both Bungie and Destiny 2. I almost said Halo 2. Destiny 2. So, Bungie said, oh, we got to get out of the very controlling hands of Activision Blizzard. We got to split from them and be independent. So they did. They left Activision Blizzard. They became an independent company for about, what, a year? And then after that, they said, oops. So even though we wanted to do that, it's not working out. And then they got bought out by, who is it, Sony? And now Sony owns them. And basically, when Sony bought them, all right, there was a big controversy because everyone's like, wait a minute. The whole thing is you said it was Activision Blizzard was the reason why Destiny 2 wasn't as good as you had wanted it to be, and you really wanted to go independent, and you did. So if you went independent, then why now are you trying to get bought out by another company? And Bungie literally came out and said, don't worry. If we get bought out by Sony, nothing will change. Our philosophy won't change. Our efforts will stay the same. You know, don't worry. There won't be any kind of downsizing. Everyone's going to keep their jobs. Everyone's going to work hard. And we're all going to do well. And Destiny's going to thrive under Sony. And everyone's like, I mean, there's only so much benefit of the doubt you can give a company. You know what I mean? So don't worry. We're going to sell off Halo. We're going to do our own game. It's going to be great. All right, benefit of the doubt. Destiny comes out and it plays just like Halo and Borderlands. It's not original, but because of the hype, everyone buys it. Everyone likes it to some extent. Gets cultural relevance. All right, but we want better things from it. Well, it's Activision Blizzard's fault. Don't worry, we'll fix it. Oops, Destiny 2's out. Buy the game again. Okay, so we buy it. It's the same game, same problems. Oops, it's Activision Blizzard's fault, so let's split. Okay, they split from them. It's been a year. Your game's still not better. Oops, well, now we need more money, so we need to get bought out again, so they get bought by Sony. Do you see the pattern? Is that it's like excuse after excuse after excuse, and never a real, okay, here's really what's going on. It's just keep passing the buck to the next excuse, to the next reason why things aren't good, or why they're not listening to fan feedback or whatever. And now, let's be honest. In 2023, can anyone with a straight face, a right mind, and in any kind of honest way lift their right hand and say, Destiny 2 is definitely culturally relevant to gaming today? Destiny 2 is an afterthought. All right? Does it have a fan base? Yeah, the same fucking people who've played it all along. It's not getting any new players to buy the game or play it at all. It's a stagnant player base of people who are upset with the game and don't like it, right? So, it's funny because earlier this year, they had a big expansion and it was so hyped up. And I remember it was earlier this year, they were so hyped the expansion's coming. And everyone's like, well, Phil, aren't you going to play or talk about it? No, it's literally not culturally relevant. It's only for people who are still playing Destiny 2. It doesn't matter what the games media says. The games media always hype shit up that they're paid to fucking advertise. You understand? There was zero reason for anyone to be excited about a Destiny 2 expansion in 2023. It's the same fucking game, the 14th time, the same bullshit, the same repetition, no innovation, no improvements, same game. But keep pretending like this game ever was relevant. It wasn't. It's just hype and media and marketing and money. And people are so dumb, they fall for it the millionth time, right? Guess what? Finally this year, the crap hit the fan. This year, Destiny's profits dipped by over 1/3. Yes, they have finally lost money. They're not making the money they used to anymore, all right? And what just happened was, they just did studio-wide layoffs. Tons of people just lost their jobs. All right? And what's funny is, I see people who are these fucking bigwig figureheads in gaming media and stuff, and they post up, oh, even though this was a great year for games, what an awful year for gaming development, and we really shouldn't say it was one of the better years for games because of all the people affected and who lost their jobs and stuff like that. And I see that, and listen, I don't want people to lose their jobs, but I hate to say it, the bubble is bursting now. What's happening is these companies who used to be protected by their names or their laurels or the hype or the marketing, they're not protected by it anymore. It doesn't matter how much money you throw to advertise. You have to have a game that's going to be relevant to someone and that has value these days. And I think a lot of people now, oh, people are just too overly critical. No. Fucking play Destiny 2 and tell me there's anything about it that ever was worth playing. You can literally never have played a game of Destiny once in your life. You've missed absolutely nothing. If you know what Borderlands is and you know what Halo is, you've seen all of Destiny from start to finish. There's not a single moment you'll play the game and be like, oh, Eureka, that's different. It's the same game. So there was never a reason for anyone to ever play it. This entire last decade could have never happened for Bungie and nothing would have changed. All games around it would have been exactly the fucking same. You see? They are not culturally relevant at all. They are a company that since they quit Halo have done nothing worth anyone's time. Sad, but true. Okay? So, that being said, is it surprising that finally this year the bubble burst and people said enough is enough? Why are we spending money on this shit game? No. It was only a matter of time, and finally the marketing ran out. You know what I mean? How many times can you advertise the same crap and say it's good, and it's the same shit again, and everyone's disappointed? Fuck you. You know? It's enough is enough, and people finally had their fill. So, sales are down, what happens? They gotta lay off employees. And now people are like, but they said when they were bought out by Sony that they weren't gonna have to lose employees. They're not losing employees because they were bought out by Sony. They're not losing employees because Activision Blizzard screwed them. They're losing employees because they can't make good games. You understand? They can't make good games. Why is it that you're a major development company of games and you only make one game? You ever think about maybe making more than one fucking game? That way if one fails, there's something else going on? This would be like me only playing Alan Wake 2 right now. And if people don't like Alan Wake 2, me blaming Alan Wake 2. How dare Alan Wake 2 not be good because now no one's watching my streams? Why don't you fucking play a different game, you stupid idiot? Right? That'd be on me. I'd be a moron. So that's on them. You put all your eggs in one basket. You made a shit game for a decade. What did you think would happen? People would keep believing your bullshit for over 10 years? Your game sucks. It always did. It never was good. Destiny 1 sucked. Destiny 2 sucked. It was two sucky things back to back. It wasn't Activision's fault. It's not Sony's fault. It's your fault because you don't know how to make a good game. You haven't made one in over a decade since you were making Halo. So either make good games or go out of business. It's not rocket science. But the problem is they were so insulated and protected for the longest time from fanboyism, from the money that they had from the Halo sales, that they thought they were invincible. They're not. They made a bunch of dog turds, and now they gotta live among the turds. It's sad but true. I don't understand. I mean, since the day that Destiny 1 came out and I played it for you guys, I said it sucked. So this game is not good. It's Halo plus Borderlands. It's nothing original. Who would want to play this? Oh, but it's the groundbreaking game. You play with your friends. It's the fucking shit. There's nothing good there. There never was. If you're one of the bro mentality gamers, bro, oh, but Destiny is the most mainstream game, bro, and we're having fun, bro, you're a moron. You're a moron. You fucked over the game industry by pouring your money into a dumb game for 10 years. Look in the mirror. You see that? That's the biggest idiot in the fucking room right now. You have spent money on junk. That game always sucked. It never was good. Not for one moment was it good. It was always bad. So, am I shocked to hear this? No! I'm not shocked to hear that finally, after 10 years, the Bungie protective bubble exploded, and now they lost so much money they had to lay off employees. It's sad, because do you think those employees deserve to be laid off? Of course not. I'm sure they're hard workers, and I'm sure they wanted to make good games, but they were told to make Destiny. They were forced to make shit. Do you think the cooks in the kitchen want to make shitty food? Or do you think they want to make good food for the customers out there who want to eat good food? But they're told to make shit. So here, make this disgusting, greasy enchilada. Make this awful burger. This is the food we serve at this shitty restaurant, right? Oh, here's your shit. So, if anything, it's the management who should basically be punished. But of course, who gets hurt? It's the line level employees. They're the ones who get laid off and fired. But I'll be honest with you. I don't know how Bungie could actually recover. I don't know. They don't know how to do anything but make Halo. They made Halo, then they made Halo, then they made Halo, then they made Halo, then they made Halo, 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 Halo. Then they sold Halo, then they made Halo, and they made Halo. So, unless they innovate and they do something completely different, I don't know how they will recover. Because if you haven't noticed, even Halo isn't doing well. Halo, made by 343 Industries, also is not doing well. You know what I'm saying? So, it doesn't make sense that you would continue to make Halo when even Halo that you sold isn't doing well. Why you keep making Halo? You have to do something different. Try something new. Innovate. Do something creative for once. Instead of the same 10 years of shit you've made that's not creative, do something creative. And then maybe you'll save your studio. But outside of that, if you keep making Destiny, you will go out of business. No one wants to play Destiny besides your hardcore fan base of bros, the bro gamers. Ooh, it's such a cool, we all get together and we play online, bro. Social aspect, bro. Well, people have moved on. People have moved on to other and better games, and they're tired of the same shit. You know? It's sad because the talent is there. It's just like with BioWare when they were forced to make shitty-ass Anthem. They didn't want to make that. They're like, I want to make good games. Too bad, make Anthem. But what about, no, make Anthem. Okay, fuck you. And then what happens, right? So it's these management types, man. It's fucking stupid. So anyway, I'm not surprised to hear this. It's sad. It's sad to hear that a titan of the industry that used to be known synonymously as one of the best game developers, Bungie was such a huge name in game development, they're now just like a joke. Like, I heard Bungie's making a new game, I was like, Halo. They're making Halo, right? They're getting that shit again. You know? But it's just sad. It's sad. And I'm sorry, what's hilarious is there's people who are, like, upset because they've played Destiny and they like it. Listen, you can like it. It doesn't make it good. Do you understand that? Destiny is not good. It never was. It literally never had a single laurel to its name at all that said it was unique, different, or innovative. At all. It was always Halo plus Borderlands, and that was it. It never had anything of anyone's time worth to it. But people fell for the marketing. And if you did, sorry, but you played a game that was not very good for the last 10 years. You wasted a lot of your time. You could have been playing much better games and stopped shoveling money into a company that did not innovate, did not listen, blamed everything around its environment except them for the fact that their game wasn't good. You know? You could still like the game and enjoy it. Doesn't mean it's good. Don't defend it and say it is. It's literally not. Okay? It's a waste of your time to be defending them. The numbers speak, you know, marvelous evidence that the game sucks. No one's buying it anymore. No one's playing it anymore. No one's putting money into it. They're not getting new players. They've lost tons of profits. They had to lay off a bunch of workers. It's their fault. Stop forgiving them for bad management. Stop protecting them. They don't need you. What they need is better management to actually make good games again. And to stop being stuck in the same creative rut they've been in the last 10, 15 years. They need to do something different. Okay. All right. Where's my evidence to say that it sucks? Check out every single gameplay video of it I ever made. There's your evidence. I've played the shit out of Halo 1 and 2 I played through. They both sucked. Neither of them was worth time. Okay, folks, that's the news. It is now time for shout-outs. Ladies and gentlemen, our first shout-out of the day. I received a $100 tip from MDO 103. Thank you very much, NDO 103. For a very generous tip today. We should actually have the correct animation now for a $100 tip. Very nice. We actually have it back. So thank you very much, NDO, for an incredibly generous $100 tip this morning. Which means is Gunner Glass. Excuse me. It is Gunner Glass's time, and it means we will have a hat today. Okay? Okay. And that's all he says is, this is NDO 103. He didn't have any other message. Thank you, NDO, for a very generous start to today's stream. As for a hat, man, what hat would be good for Alan Wake today? Let's see. We'll do a poll for a hat. Which hat is Alan Wake best? The beret, the red fedora, the cowboy. Wait, I just wore the cowboy the other day, did I not? Hold on. Phew. Sweaty. Oh my God. Oh, okay. We'll do these. Phew. Phew. Okay. Please vote on a hat. Very good. Thank you, NDO, for the very generous start to today with a very generous tip. Outside of that, that's the only contribution. We got no super chats, no memberships, no gifted memberships, and no other tips. All right, so we do have a little bit of extra time. If you guys would like to tag me in the chat with a question, we'll go for like 5-10 minutes before we adjourn the show and we get ready for Alan Wake 2, okay? So, a little bit of opportunity here for Q&A if you guys want to ask me some questions. Do I think I was being harsh on Halo 1 and 2? I literally wasn't harsh on Halo 1 and 2 at all. When did I even criticize those games? Never. I didn't even say that. Anyway, I gotta blow my nose. There we go. Okay. Which game do I think is better, Alan Wake 1 or 2? Of course 2. I mean, it's ridiculous. Alan Wake 1 had great story and atmosphere, but the great gameplay was so repetitive and boring. In this game, you get two different characters, two different styles of gameplay, so many different things going on. It's definitely this game. Will I cover Warzone this year? If I buy it, then yes. If I buy the game, which it seems like I'm going to do, then yeah, it makes sense for me to try Warzone. I don't know how long I'll play it, because I thought they fucked it up last year. If you remember, I actually thought the launch version of Warzone was decent, and I played it for several weeks and really enjoyed it. And then they patched it, and after they patched it, it was terrible. The changes they made it so unfun, I didn't care anymore, and I stopped playing it. Yes, I recommend Assassin's Creed Mirage, just an out for $50. It's a very short game, 20 hours or less. So I would say get it on the Ubisoft Plus subscription plan for $18. Play it, and then cancel your plan. That's exactly what I did. Why do I think I was so bad at Destiny? I never was. There's nothing to be good at in Destiny. It's literally such a time waster game. There's nothing to be good at. There's no point in excelling at it because it's all the same repetitive shooting, looting, shooting, looting. Even if you beat it with ever dying, it doesn't make anything. It doesn't mean anything. It's worthless. It's just a disposable experience. The fun comes from playing with your friends and the social interaction you have when you play it rather than the game itself. Are the Invincible reviews canceled? No. No. I didn't have a chance to talk about it today. I figure I'll talk about it tomorrow. I actually did finish Season 1. Alright? So I finished Season 1, and I'm probably going to do a video that talks about my thoughts about Season 1 coming up early this week. I don't want to watch Season 2 until I make that video. I feel like, what's the point of watching Season 2 if I still have to talk about my thoughts on Season 1, right? And to my knowledge, isn't it that there's only one episode of Season 2 a week anyway, and there's 8 episodes? So probably I'll do like Monday, Tuesday, I'll do a video, okay, Invincible Season 1, my overall thoughts after having watched the whole season, right? And then a review of each episode of Season 2. You know, that's probably what I'll do. I had an IRL typo. What did I say? What did I say? What are you talking about? Oh, I said Halo? I meant to say Destiny, not Halo. Yeah, sorry about that. If I had said that Halo was bad, that's not what I meant. I meant Destiny. Destiny 1 and 2. If I said Halo, that was a misspeaking. I did not mean to crap on Halo 1 and 2. In fact, Halo 1, I've only played the campaign of. Halo 2, I played the multiplayer of back in the day, and I didn't really like it. But when I finally played Halo 3, I loved it. You know? So, and then what was the other one? ODST? Halo 3 ODST? Not ODST. Reach. Reach is really good. I actually really like the story of Reach, and the multiplayer of Reach was really good. Yeah. But that's what I mean. That's the last good thing they did. Bungie hasn't done a single thing since then worth playing. Every moment they wasted on Destiny. It was over a decade of their time completely wasted on a crap game. It's so sad. You guys are voting for the red fedora today? All right. Sounds like a plan. I received a $20 tip from 1 Minute Man. Thank you very much to 1 Minute Man for a $20 tip. I appreciate that. Thank you, 1 Minute Man, so very much for your ongoing support of everything that I do, no matter where it is. I thank you wholeheartedly. Awesome. Am I feeling a lot better? I'm still congested, Mark. I've already had to blow my nose several times during this stream. It's probably going to persist that way. I don't think there's really a way around it with the amount of congestion and stuff. This is going to be a lingering cold for another week at least, I think. But the good news is no fever for days. I haven't had meds for days. Don't need them. By the way, the sun is coming out now. What is going on? I gotta go close the blinds. Sheesh. And, you know, energy-wise, I'm doing pretty good. I'm still kind of sweaty. A little residual, like I'm sweatier than I used to be, you know, before I was sick. So that's a little gross. But outside of that, no, I am kind of feeling on the better side, which is good. So, Derek, I'll see you tomorrow. I had no idea you were even here, but I'll see you for the react show tomorrow. Sounds good. All right. Any other questions? Any last minute stuff you guys want to talk about before we end the show and we jump into Alan Wake 2? What do I think about Super Mario Wonder? It's great. I've said it a million times. Super good modern 2D take on platforming. I said all the games I'm playing right now are like masterpieces. Spider-Man 2 is amazing. Alan Wake 2 is amazing. Mario Wonder is amazing. It's good to be playing 3 great games, that's for sure. Especially after a lot of the underwhelming games that I've played this year. It's good to be playing 3 great ones all at once. Yeah, you guys all quieted down now. People, I'm ready for the game now. Are you ready? Like, yeah, everyone's just kind of quieted down. No one's talking now. I don't know. Is my camera chopping up all of a sudden? I don't know why it's doing that. Being stupid. Do I think Avatar will be good or get repetitive like Far Cry? I mean, let's be honest here. It's Ubisoft, okay? Ubisoft does one thing good in game development. Following formulas. And their formulas just happen to be really good. So, they follow the Assassin's Creed formula and they pump out another Assassin's Creed game. And they follow the Far Cry formula and they pump out another Far Cry game. And then they innovate a little bit. Every time they tweak it a little bit so it's not the same. It's not exactly the same, but it always feels familiar, right? So, I feel this Avatar game will feel very familiar. It'll feel like Far Cry, but it'll have some innovations, being that it'll have the Avatar plot and everything, right? Will it get repetitive? Yeah, I think it will. I feel like it will, but at least it'll be in a different environment this time and stuff, so maybe it'll be a little bit less, you know? Of all 3 games I'm playing, which one am I enjoying the most? Honestly, I would say Alan Wake 2, and not to say that it's better than the other 2 games, but I've been waiting 13 years for the story of Alan Wake to continue, and we're getting that now, which is really cool. And also, I like horror, mystery, thriller elements, so I like that. I like it a little more than, say, just a superhero game or a Mario platformer. I like that it's something that has been a culmination of something you kind of been waiting for a very long time, you see? Looks like the Red Fedora will win, right? It sure looks that way. Looks like Red Fedora's going to win the poll. So that'll be our hat for today. I mean, it'll kind of match the shirt, but not really. This is more of a dark maroon shirt. Burgundy. And the hat is very bright. What's funny is this hat was supposed to be dark. Let me show you the hat. So, this hat was supposed to be burgundy. But this is the problem with ordering stuff on Amazon, is that the colors are never accurate to what they say they are. So, same thing happened to me when I ordered my my red vest like 2 years ago. On Amazon, the red vest looked orange. And I was like, oh, it kind of looks like the Marty McFly vest from Back to the Future. So I order a red vest, or excuse me, I order an orange vest. It shows up, and it's dark red. Huh? So this hat was supposed to be like burgundy, maroon. And I order it, and it's bright red. Like bright red. Like, so did they give me the wrong hat, or is the hat just not accurate to how they're showing it on the site, right? You don't know. You don't know what the actual... It's not a big deal. It stands out nicely on camera, so I'm not going to complain and be like, oh, it ruined the hat. It didn't. The hat's nice, right? What's up, Corrine? How are you doing? Clam Cut Tie says, RoboCop needs a playthrough. Reviews are good. I've heard the complete opposite. Someone came on here just yesterday and said, don't get it. It's too short. It's insanely repetitive, grindy, and it gets boring after a couple of hours. There's no point in playing it. Again, we're not looking to tackle any new games right now. I got 3 I'm playing. We got 2 more next week. So after we get to a point where we can possibly consider doing a new game like that, then we'll look into it. It's not happening anytime soon now. I look like a Sopranos character. You think Sopranos characters would wear a hat this bright? I don't know about that. It's like Dick Tracy. That's what this is. It's like a Dick Tracy hat. I'm Philly the Schnoz. Right? I guess we can end the hat poll. Okay. Yeah, wow. Red Fedora came in 35%, Viking 29. Then it was Beret at 20, Los Santos cap at 14. There you go. Perhaps if it was a much darker color hat, you could argue that it would be something like that. It is way too bright. All right. That it, guys? Shall we wrap up the show for today and get ready for Alan Wake? Shall we? Los Santos cap would be a weird choice for Alan Wake 2. Why is that? What do you mean? I don't have any hats that really match the townspeople and stuff of Bright Falls or Watery or anything like that. You're absolutely right. I don't have anything of that style. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the Level 1 podcast for today. Hopefully today was more of a normal show for you and you enjoyed it. Now that we're getting back to the swing of things, I hope you're excited for some of the special events coming up. All the great new releases we're playing and more coming. The adpocalypse is upon us. Get ready to start nominating ads. Start looking up ads now. Now's the time to start preparing for this so that you can start nominating, as soon as I get those threads up within the next couple of days. Got some reviews coming up. Good stuff. Thank you all for wholeheartedly welcoming me back to my streams with open arms, with arms wide open, as Creed would say. Right? I appreciate that because I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought it would come back and you guys would be like, wow, so you missed like 5 days, 6 days of streaming? Well, you're just an outdated dinosaur now. We have no desire to watch you do anything on the internet. But it was the opposite. You guys have been clamoring, foaming at the mouth, drooling and craving more content. And I appreciate that because I have content to provide you. So, thank you for watching the Level 1 podcast. And happy Halloween! No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not doing that until next year. I promise you no jump scares. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.